Today is Tuesday, Parashat Behaalotecha. The end of the parashat tells us about the grave sin of Lashon Hara, speaking negatively about another person. And it tells us the story about Miriam and Aaron that spoke negatively about Moshe Rabbeinu, even with a good intention. They didn't understand why Moshe Rabbeinu separated from his wife. The reason was that he had to always be ritually pure as a Navi that had direct communication, contact with Hashem at any point, that he had to be always prepared and ready for that revelation from Hashem. So they didn't understand and they spoke negatively. Miriam was punished with tzara'at, with leprosy, and she had to be quarantined for 7 days until she became healed, and then for 7 days after tzara'at, a person then can come back to the camp. And the final two pesukim tells us that Tisager Miriam yechutz lamachane shivat yamim, so she was quarantined outside of the camp for 7 days. Ve'am lo nasa, and the whole nation did not travel. They stayed there, they stayed put. Ade asef Miriam, until Miriam came back into the camp at the end of her quarantine because of leprosy. Ve'achar naseu ha'am mechatzerot, and only afterwards they traveled from Chatzerot, vayachanu b'midbar Paran, and they camped in the desert of Paran. Rashi brings a certain point into perspective here. He says, ve'am lo anasa, and the people did not travel. They waited for Miriam for 7 days. Ze ha'kavod chalakla ha'makom, this honor Hashem gave to Miriam, bishvil shah achad, because of 1 hour, 1 moment, 1 brief period, shenit'akva leMoshe kshe'ushlach la'or, that she waited for Moshe Rabbeinu when he was put into the Nile by his mother in that sort of basket. She waited, shene'emar v'tetatzav achoto merachok le'de'am v'yasero, because there the pasuk says that his sister Miriam waited there next to the Nile, waiting to see what would happen for Moshe Rabbeinu, who was only 3 months old in that basket. She waited for a few minutes or for an hour. She merited, because of that chesed that she did, that the whole Jewish nation, every single person then waited for her for 7 days until she was able to come back to the camp, and then they traveled. And this teaches us a very important principle, that no act of kindness goes unnoticed. In Shamayim, every time we do a chesed, even if it would be a small chesed, nothing so important. She waited for her brother after all. But that chesed that she made for Moshe waiting for him, she merited years later that the whole nation would wait for her for 7 days. The incredible reward and the merit of what small action can bring about great benefit in the future. So this idea to do chesed, even if it's a small chesed, could go a long way to benefit the person who did that act of kindness. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.